If you're a martial arts instructor, you need to watch this video. How do we become a better and more effective teacher in our dojos? Hello everyone, my name is Sensei Cole Stanley. I am a second-degree black belt in Judo, and I was a public school teacher for 16 years. Over this time, both in the classroom and in the dojo, I've picked up a few tips and tricks and strategies that have worked for me. One of my personal goals is to help martial arts teachers become better teachers. And when I say this, it's not about knowledge of the arts. If you are a martial arts instructor, that means that you are well versed in the techniques and application of your art, whatever it might be. Judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, kung fu, kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, whatever it might be. But what we need to do is become better teachers. You have to figure out how your students learn. You have to figure out ways to explain so your students understand and can retain that information. I know from working with kids every day for the last 16 years, the two most important things that I've realized about teaching somebody anything, whether it's a subject in school, an exercise, or anything to deal with the martial arts, keeping your students engaged and helping them retain the information are the two most important things. So I do have another video on here that talks about the 4 learning styles. You could always check that out. I talk about auditory, visual, tactile, and kinesthetic learners. You always want to apply what you're doing to all 4 learning styles. For more details, check that video out. Now, I want to create an environment where people are comfortable to ask questions. For some, that comes a lot later than others. Some of your students are going to be very social, outgoing. They talk to you right away. They talk to other people in class. They make jokes. They're the first to volunteer for anything that you're doing. But then you also have those students that are very shy, not very social, drawn back, don't want to ask questions. They don't make eye contact. They don't talk to people. We have to create an environment to where student A and student B are both comfortable to ask questions. How do I do that? I want to create an environment that's welcoming to anybody new or old. I want to have a dojo that has students that'll go up to new people and introduce them, help them out, talk with them, welcome them to the dojo. But this behavior does need to get taught. Obviously, you as the sensei are going to promote these qualities in yourself. You're going to be nice to people that are coming in the door. You're going to be welcoming to new students. You're going to talk to them. So you are modeling the activity, but you also need to encourage your students to do the same as what you do. And this does take time. One thing you could do is delegate a student that's outgoing, helpful, funny, goes above and beyond what you ask. And you could give them a title. It could be the welcoming advisor. They could be president of the welcoming crew. Just something that sounds fun. Give them a job. Let them know that when there is a new student that comes in, it is their job to go up, introduce themselves, show them around, talk to them, show them some moves, be nice to them, all that stuff. Believe it or not, if you haven't realized this, kids especially love jobs. They really do. When they get a special title, they get a responsibility, and they're the type of kid that is outgoing and always looking to help out, they absolutely love it. So you'd be surprised how well they do if you give them a job title like that. Now, we've created a nice, welcoming environment within the dojo. Now we need to talk about explanation of techniques. So, when you are explaining a technique, you only want to focus on small bits at a time. Don't think that you have to teach all 100 points of that move in one single sitting. First off, you're not going to be able to cover all 100 points. The other thing is, your students are not going to remember 90 of those. So only focus on a few aspects of that technique, whatever it might be. Foot placement, hand placement, where you turn, where you grab, how to lower your level, how far apart your feet should be, where I should move my head. All these aspects are important, but only focus on a few at a time. Come up with language that helps people remember what you're talking about. Some things I talk about in my judo class, when I'm grabbing the lapel and I'm pulling, I talk about setting a hook on a fishing pole. When I grab my partner with two hands and I take them this way, I talk about turning the steering wheel. When I grab onto the sleeve hand, I take the slack out and I turn my hand. I say, rev the motorcycle. In wrestling, when I had somebody doing a front headlock, you always want to get your elbow high on that front headlock. So I talk about gunslinger. So I put my hand kind of like I'm drawing my 6-shooter in the Old West. I mean, and it might be silly, right? It might be silly. You could create mnemonic devices. You could create phrases, words. Feel free to obviously use any of these that you want, but, you want to try to make up some of your own. Or, beg, borrow, steal from others as well. Try to figure out what works for you. But these little clues, these words, these mnemonic devices, these phrases also help the students remember as well. And then the last thing that I want to mention is trying to keep things short and sweet. What does that mean? I want to only spend a few minutes at the most explaining a technique. I want to focus on individual parts of the technique, and I want to keep it short for 2 reasons. 1, if I talk too long, I'm going to lose the attention of my audience. And number 2, if I teach for too long, the students are not going to be able to emulate everything that I want them to do. I want to focus on just a few aspects of it. Always encourage questions. Spend a little bit of time answering questions, especially if it's with little kids. Only answer a couple questions, then get right into the technique. When they're doing the technique, walk around to each group or individual students, depending on how you have the exercises or the techniques for the day set up, and work with them. Watch them do the techniques. Make small corrections and only focus on one little thing at a time. Put your hand here for the next throw. Turn your fist this way when you make this strike. Turn your hips this way when you perform this kick. Adjust the arm this way for this submission. Don't try to fix everything at once. Try to be encouraging, but realistic and direct. And also, you'll notice too, some students are much more comfortable asking you questions in a smaller setting. So when they are doing these techniques, they'll ask you the questions then, instead of in front of the whole class at one time. So after they've broken out into groups and they're performing their techniques, ask them, hey, do you got any questions about this? Or I notice you're struggling with this hip throw. What can I do to help you understand it better? And of course, if you have anybody, kids or adults, that are helpful and emulate the same sort of values and techniques and good attitude that you have as an instructor, they are so valuable to have. Certain parents that help out with the kids' classes, other upper level belts that help out with the adult classes, or maybe they also help teach. Give them some responsibilities as well. Encourage them to help. And let them know that when you teach, it's the best way to remember something and to become a better martial artist. Well, I hope this helped. Again, my name is Sensei Cole Stanley. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, or comment. Also, I am the owner of Student First Grappling. I travel all over the country and I teach grappling, mostly Judo for Jiu-Jitsu. So if you'd be interested in having me come out to your club and teach, please use the information below to contact me, or if you ever want to contact me and just ask a question about martial arts or grappling, please do so. My knowledge is mostly with grappling, judo especially, but I also coach wrestling, and I am a jiu-jitsu blue belt. So feel free to contact me, ask questions, comment below. I really appreciate it. I wish everybody good luck on their own personal grappling journey.